Number 10. The persistent hiccup. You know the drill. You eat too fast, laugh too hard, or just get hit with a random wave of hiccupy misfortune. For most of us, they're a fleeting annoyance, a quick and embarrassing few minutes of involuntary spasms. You try all the old tricks, holding your breath, drinking water upside down, having someone scare you with a rubber chicken, and eventually they go away. But what if they don't? What if they just stick around? A hiccup that lasts for more than 48 hours is considered persistent, and one that lasts for more than a month is classified as intractable. And here's the kicker. They can be a surprising red flag for a variety of underlying medical conditions. Everything from nerve irritation in your diaphragm to a stroke, kidney disease, or even certain types of cancer can trigger them. Your body is basically trying to tell you something, and it's doing so in the most annoying way possible. It's like your internal alarm system is broken, and instead of a clear siren, it's just repeating a single garbled word over and over again. So while a few minutes of hiccups are just a cosmic prank, a few days might be your body sending a very loud, very clear message that something's not right. Number 9. The random muscle twitch. You're sitting there scrolling through your phone, and suddenly your eyelid starts to twitch. It's a tiny, rhythmic flutter that you can't control, and it's driving you crazy. Or maybe it's a finger, a calf muscle, or a small spot on your arm. These little muscle spasms, or fasciculations as the nerds call them, are usually harmless. They can be triggered by too much caffeine, not enough sleep, or even stress. It's your nervous system throwing a little fit because it's slightly overstimulated. We've all been there. But like with the persistent hiccup, there's a point where a benign quirk can become a potential red flag. If these twitches are persistent, widespread, and accompanied by other symptoms like muscle weakness, they could be a sign of something more serious. We're talking about conditions like a pinched nerve, a mineral deficiency, or in rare cases, a more significant neurological issue. It's the difference between your car engine making a weird little tick when you first turn it on, and the whole dashboard lighting up like a Christmas tree. Your body has a lot of ways to get your attention, and sometimes a little twitch is just the opening act for a much larger show you didn't buy tickets for. Number 8. Sweating on one side. Ever notice that you're sweating more on one side of your body than the other? Maybe it's your face, your arm, or even your torso. For most people, sweating is a fairly symmetrical process, your body's internal thermostat trying to regulate your temperature. But for a select few, a strange and uneven sweat pattern can be a sign of a deeper issue. This is called unilateral hyperhidrosis, and it's not something you can just blame on a faulty AC unit. It can be caused by a variety of conditions that affect your autonomic nervous system, the part of your brain that controls involuntary functions like sweating, heart rate, and breathing. This includes everything from nerve damage to a tumor. So while a little uneven sweat might just be a bizarre quirk, a persistent and noticeable difference could be your body's subtle way of telling you that one side of your internal wiring is a little fried. It's like having a house with a perfectly working thermostat on one side and a broken one on the other. It's not a disaster, but you're definitely going to want to call an electrician to figure out what's going on. Number 7. The persistent tingling. We've all had a limb fall asleep. You sit with your leg crossed for too long, stand up, and suddenly you're trying to walk on a piece of dead meat attached to your body. That prickly pins and needles feeling, or paresthesia, is your nerves waking up and sending a very loud, very confused signal to your brain. It's annoying, but it's usually harmless and fleeting. Your body just momentarily cut off the blood supply and now everything is coming back online. But what if the pins and needles stick around? What if that weird numb sensation in your hands or feet just won't go away, even when you haven't been sitting funny? A persistent tingling or numbness could be a sign of a number of underlying issues that are a little more serious than bad posture. This includes everything from a simple vitamin B12 deficiency to a pinched nerve, carpal tunnel syndrome, or even an early warning sign of diabetes or a neurological condition. It's the difference between your phone signal dropping out for a second and your phone constantly showing no service no matter where you go. That temporary drop is fine. but a constant lack of signal means there's a problem with the device itself. Your nervous system is basically a huge network of phone lines, and persistent paresthesia is your body's way of telling you there's a broken wire somewhere down the line. Number 6. The bizarre craving. You're pregnant, so you crave pickles and ice cream. It's a classic, even cliché scenario. But what if you're not pregnant and you suddenly have a powerful, uncontrollable craving for something that is decidedly not food? We're talking about pica, a rare disorder where people crave and consume non-food items like dirt, clay, chalk, or even soap. It sounds like something a cartoon character would do for a gag, but in reality, it's a genuine medical red flag. Pica is often a symptom of a severe nutrient deficiency, most commonly iron. When your body is severely lacking a mineral, it can send out a distorted signal that makes you crave things that might contain that mineral, even if in a completely indigestible form. So that sudden urge to munch on ice cubes or dirt isn't just a weird quirk. It's your body's bizarre and often dangerous attempt to get what it needs. It's like your car's check engine light coming on. The light itself isn't the problem. It's a warning sign for a much bigger issue under the hood. So the next time you get a weird craving, it might be worth a quick check-in with a doctor, just to make sure your internal gas tank isn't running on empty. Number 5. The phantom smell. Have you ever walked into a room and smelled a faint whiff of smoke or burnt toast, but couldn't find the source, no matter how hard you looked? Your brain has a fun little quirk where it can sometimes create smells that aren't there. This is called phantasmia, or phantom smells. For most of us, it's a brief and harmless hallucination, a quick glitch in our olfactory system that can be caused by anything from a sinus infection to a head cold. It's a classic "what was that" moment that you quickly forget about. But when a phantom smell becomes persistent, frequent, or overpowering, it can be a red flag for a more serious neurological issue. These ghost scents could be an early warning sign for conditions like seizures, a brain tumor, or even a precursor to a migraine. Your sense of smell is directly connected to the most primitive parts of your brain, and when that system starts to malfunction, it can be a sign that something is going wrong upstairs. It's like your house's smoke detector going off with no fire in sight. It could just be a low battery, but it could also be a wiring problem that you're going to want to check out before the whole place goes up in flames. Number 4. The chronic cough. You've got a tickle in your throat and a cough that won't quit. It's been a couple of weeks, but you're just writing it off as a lingering cold or some seasonal allergies. A cough, after all, is a pretty common annoyance, but a cough that lasts for more than 8 weeks, that's what doctors call a chronic cough, and it's not something you should ignore. While it could be something relatively simple like acid reflux or asthma, it could also be a subtle warning sign for a much more serious underlying condition. We're talking about things like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, heart failure, or even a postnasal drip that has become a full-blown issue. Your body is basically trying to clear something out of your airways, and when it keeps failing to do so, it's a sign that whatever is causing the problem isn't going away. It's like your car engine backfiring once or twice. Annoying, but probably not a big deal. But if your engine is backfiring every time you hit the gas for 2 months straight, you're not going to just turn up the radio and ignore it, are you? A persistent cough is your body's way of telling you that the fire is not out and the smoke is still coming. Number 3. The sloppy signature. Your handwriting has never been a work of art. It's more of a functional scrawl, a series of hasty loops and squiggles that only you can truly decipher. That's normal. But what if your handwriting suddenly and dramatically changes? What if it becomes shaky, cramped, or just all around messy in a way it wasn't before? This isn't just about a bad day or a tired hand. This could be a neurological red flag called micrographia. It's the technical term for the progressive shrinking of handwriting, and it's one of the classic early warning signs of Parkinson's disease. The brain's motor control system, which tells your hand how to form letters and how large they should be, begins to fail. It's a tiny, subtle sign that something is going wrong with your internal wiring. It's like being an expert carpenter who suddenly can't draw a straight line, no matter how hard you try. Your muscles and hand are still there, but the instructions from the brain are getting all jumbled. So while we all joke about bad handwriting, a sudden and significant change could be your body's subtle way of telling you that the person in charge of your fine motor skills is a little out of office. Number 2, a suddenly hoarse voice. Ever scream at a concert or cheer too loudly at a game and lose your voice for a day or two? A raspy, hoarse voice is a common and usually temporary side effect of vocal cord overuse or a simple cold. You drink some tea, get some rest, and your voice eventually returns to its normal velvety smoothness. But what if the hoarseness persists? What if your voice stays raspy, breathy, or changes in pitch for more than 2 weeks? This could be a sign of a number of conditions affecting your vocal cords. We're talking about things like vocal cord nodules, polyps, or in more serious cases, a tumor in your larynx. Your vocal cords are like the strings on a guitar, and if one of them is damaged or inflamed, the sound they produce will be off. When your voice stays out of tune, it could be your body's way of letting you know there's a serious problem with the instrument itself. So, while a temporary bout of hoarseness is a sign you had a good time, a persistent change could be a sign you need to get your voice checked out. Number 1, the disappearing eyebrows. You're looking in the mirror and something looks off. You can't put your finger on it. Then it hits you. Your eyebrows are thinning out, and not just a little bit, but noticeably so, particularly on the outer edges. This might sound like a minor cosmetic issue, but it's a classic and often overlooked symptom of a much bigger problem, a thyroid condition, specifically hypothyroidism. Your thyroid gland is like the master regulator of your body's metabolism. It controls everything from your heart rate to your hair growth. When it's not producing enough hormones, it's like the whole system is running on low power. And one of the first places this low power shows up is in your hair, including your eyebrows. It's a very specific and telltale sign. Your body is basically telling you that the factory is slowing down, and this is just one of the first products to be affected. So while you might be tempted to just fill them in with a pencil, that thinning brow could be your body's subtle way of screaming for help. It's a stark reminder that even the smallest, most innocent-seeming changes can be a vital clue to what's happening underneath the surface.